Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to another episode from me, Avomance, in my Seed Tours and Reviews series. Last week, we were in Bedrock. This is Seed 24. Jonathan Can gave us this one, my first ever Bedrock seed. It was very exciting, really different, and I was absolutely clueless as to how I was meant to get about the whole world. But I will do some more Bedrock seeds, so don't you worry. We're back to Java this week for seed number 25, and it's an interesting one. And we're going to create the world together like we always do. Put the seed in the name so you can see, show me the honey, mummy. Game mode creative, but it's no good unless you come into the seed area and pop it in there. Otherwise you get a random seed and that will just make everybody cry, and nobody wants that in their life. So we're just going to create this new world and see where we end up. I'm actually quite interested to find out what's going on. I'm told this one is a real cracker. So we have spawned in literally right on the edge of what looks like, is it an island or is it not? First things first, as always, let's get my stone pillar going up. I literally don't know where I am, so I'm just going to get a stone pillar going up and we have a good look and goosey around. So it seems up atop our stone tower, we are on an island, but it's not too far from mainland by the look of it, just over there. I think that's also probably mainland over there as well. We've got a little chain of islands, little archipelago thing going on over in that direction, and then we've got the big blue facing out in that way. Have you noticed? Oh, look what's just literally just started to roll in. That looks like Mesa to me. We shall go and investigate. Right, so we've got this way is north. Now, did you notice the difference between Bedrock and Java rolling in there? Java takes a lot longer, and I've got a fairly meaty machine, but it takes a lot longer for it to roll itself in. Let's get ourselves going north and we'll see what we can find, because I want to look at that Mesa. And we're over the Mesa, look, just over there you can see my tall stone pillar. It doesn't look like it's, I was going to say it doesn't look like it's particularly big Mesa, but it looks like it wraps around this savanna area just on the right here, which is good. Now Mesa's obviously really useful if you want to get hold of some gold really quickly and really easily. But what's also quite cool about Mesas is you very often find these exposed mine shafts, which means it's very easy to go looting in the mine shafts. This one looks like it's a fairly decent size as well, because it goes from all the way over here, where you can see all the rails going, just coming underneath there, look, all the way over here, all the way to over there. That is a big old fella. But what we've got on the other side of the Mesa, this Badlands biome here, is more Mesa and Badlands biome. So if you like terracotta, this fella could well be your best friend. You never know. What have we got a little bit further north? Because you're not going to get any villages in the Mesa, obviously. The savannah looks like it's fairly long and thin. Can't see any villages there, so it's not going to help us out for kidnapping people. But we do have a desert. Now, desert obviously massively important when it comes to being able to craft glass and glass related items, and also you tend to get temples. I can't see a temple yet, but I reckon this is a big desert. I'll be very surprised if there it is, homing in on Desert Temple right now, right next to a village there as well, which is awesome, which means that you can come and pillage the village and also pillage the Desert Temple at the same time. It is a quadruple towered village. Now, what would be really quite good about these quadruple tower village, if you make yourself a bit of a transparent block, by transparent I mean like a bottom slab or glass or something, that basically run between the towers from there to there and there to there, you could create yourself a raid farm. Well, sort of not really a farm per se, but you could get yourself a hero of the village dead easy, just running backwards and forwards, shooting anything that doesn't look like it belongs. That would be absolutely brilliant. What have we got a little bit further in this direction? Well, I've not gone much further at all, and we've got a pillager tower, which is superb. I do love a good pillager tower, and pillager towers in the desert are actually quite useful. Reason being, they tend to be quite flat around the area of a pillager tower, especially when it's on the edge of a mesa there as well, which means that you can make a pillager farm quite easily because you've not got too much terraforming to do. So that's a really good opportunity there. A little bit more mesa that's been split ever so slightly by that desert, running into a plains biome. Now, plains, personally, one of my favourite areas to build is a plains biome, so I very much like the fact that I've got one of these here. But the fact that it's split up, look, you've got savanna, you've got desert, you've got mesa, you've got more desert, you've got ocean. This is quite a nice area to build, and this is a big old flat place here. These plains here, that could be quite simply a great place to build a decent sized base if you wanted to go out and marauding. I'm going to go a little bit further in this direction because something tells me there might be stuff of interest. So I've already gone over a couple more villages, and now we've got a savannah village. Now I like savannah villages just simply because they're just that little bit more colourful. They remind me of kind of an Italian villa-esque type of outfit, and they often tend to be split up on these heights. Appalling if you set off the mad cow disease thing on this one, because they literally could spawn anywhere and eat your face all over the place. What we've also got over here though is a flower forest. Now I like flower forest. Now we're in 115.2 and this is 115.2. Oh look, ravine. Now it's 115.2. That it's, look right in front of me. Hello bees. Hello bees, it's very nice to see you, the bees. So we've got bees over here in this flower forest as well. We've got about 1,500 blocks, something like that. So it's not too far away at all. Massive savannah. Look, this absolute sprawling savannah all over the place coming off the back of that flower forest, which is just brilliant, because I find savannas, they're not necessarily my favourite place to build, but because they have, the mountains tend to be very, very flat, you can do quite good dual height builds on a savannah, if that's the kind of thing that you're into. Castles work particularly well on a savannah because you can have kind of integrate your heights quite well with the different landscapes. And just past that savannah, we've got a relatively small coral there. Look, it's not too big, but you've got enough there to be able to harvest some sea pickles and get yourself some underwater lighting. You've got a shipwreck just there in front of us next to that small island. So that's quite useful if you want to start doing a bit of treasure hunting. And yet another village. This place has got plenty of villages. You don't have to worry about not being able to find people to do your bidding and slavery and all that kind of malarkey. And just as I thought the coral reef was tiddly, it's got its big brother. This is a significantly larger coral, which is always nice to find. Loads of that coral that you can take back wherever you want. As long as you use a silk touch pick, you can pick up those coral blocks and you are there for days. And this is what we're looking for when we're flying across an ocean. Obviously, we're looking for one of these fellas, a monument. You can come and raid this, get your sponges, get your prismarine, everything you could possibly need from an underwater kingdom. And just over from the monument, look, there's the monument. We've got a swamp with a witch hut on it. But again, particularly like this swamp because look, it reaches out past and into the ocean with almost no landmass. So you can use the witch hut and the swamp here to be able to get yourself a little bit of a slime witch combo. Loving it. Travelling out east from our spiky stony spike thing there, we're gone over, look, they've got a little ocean ruin there. Not always very much in those, but you never know, you might pick up a bit that's very useful. And it looks like we're coming into another coral area. This is a very wet seed, or at least it is in and around spawn. Massive old coral bit here by the look of it. That's quite nice. Much closer than the last one, which is always good. But what have we got around the coral? Have we got anything else around the coral? I'm just going to pop over here. We've got a few more islands. Is that a full desert biome or is that just beach? So that's a beach. It's a split. That's quite nice. So we've got a split plains and desert biome right on the edge of the coral reef there. Very useful. Not too far at all from the spawn area. And again, relatively flat with a little bit of wood nearby as well, which is good. So you'd be able to use that for necessary building. And you've got a village just over there too. This looks quite a big village as well, which is quite nice. Let's just come and have a look at this village. And you've got a desert temple. This is a good direction already. East is a beast. So, the reef just goes around. It's going on forever. So, look, all kidnapping opportunity is right close to spawn now. If you did want to go back to the spawn area, although I do recommend, I think, on this one, this might be your mate here. This might be the place you need to come to be able to do your necessary spawnage. We've got a shipwreck right in there. It's quite common to see a shipwreck within the coral. And then it opens up into a number of small islands. But what have we got a little bit further on? You've got another ocean ruin just over there as well. So you could come and pillage that. And then are these just more islands or have we got an actual landmass coming in? Looks like we've got a big old mountain region coming in. So if you want to come and do some full-on mining, this might be your mate right here. Because you've got some quite nice, although it's quite small, it's an island. It is an island, but it's a very mountainous island. Very interesting. You could do all kinds of, can you imagine if you did like a castle atop this hill? Massive kind of build on that. That would be really fun. You've got this bay here. If you terraform that out, you could turn that into a proper harbour. This has got proper potential, people. This right there, that could be a build and a half. If you come on here and you do a build on that island, send me a picture because I'd be very interested to see it. But what is beyond? Looks like more island. Wee bit further on east, we've got a little plains biome to the left. We've got quite a reasonable sized taiga biome over to the right here with a forest in the middle. So if you want some wood, we're not that far from that really nice island that we just saw. So if you needed wood for your build, you've got plenty of it here. Look, this taiga just carries on and on and on. And spruce is actually fast becoming one of my favourite building materials, so that's quite cool. This is a nice little village here. We've got a shipwreck. Somehow it's ploughed right into the village. Or potentially the villagers have just decided they're going to pull the shipwreck up onto the village and use it as some kind of weird godlike monument. But you know, whatever floats their boat. Literally, it is a boat. And we've got an ice biome literally just over the other side. We're not that far off. You can see just over there. That's where that the taiga biome finished, just over there. We've also come past a dark oak area. So you've got some dark oak opportunities there too. Now here comes the ice. Obviously, Silk Touch pick at the ready. You're going to have more ice than you could possibly need. We've got a polar bear. I never really stop at the polar bears, do you? It's one of those animals in Minecraft that's never truly appreciated, is the polar bear. You're not appreciated, are you? You're a poor little fella. I know. I don't know what to tell you, but it's just people are scared of you because you've got a big fat bum. So what we got over on the other side, it looks like we've got, coming on the other side of this ice biome, we've got some birch and some dark oak. And I'm just seeing how big this ice is. It's a fairly decent sized ice biome. You've got plenty to be able to come and grab what you need. Lots of polar bears though. I mean, genuinely quite a lot of polar bears. You often see one or two. There's 5 or 6 polar bears on that one. If you wanted to try and tame one, good luck. But we've got this dark oak forest here, birch. We've got a village in kind of mixed into it. And it's a plains village because that's what spawns when you're kind of next to a dark oak, because it tends to be plains that's next to it. We've not got, have I? No, have I? Because like, we have got a little ravine there though, which is nice. This is kind of like a little hidden wilderness. You could kind of make little pockets of civilization with the forest and clear out paths through the forest. That'd be quite an interesting little build there if you tried it. And another desert, because as if we haven't seen enough sand already. Southbound across the islands, we've got quite a nice little rock formation going up there. That looks like a bit like the start of a Nether Fortress or some other such strangely named castle. You could do something there. Masses of wood. I mean, seriously, masses and masses and masses of wood here. So you've got oak, you've got birch, you've got dark oak coming up on the left-hand side there as well. So you're well sorted. You've got your hills and your mountains coming up on the right. And it opens up into what looks like could be quite a large plains. It's very flat. Now, I like this. This is a very flat plains. Very flat plains are a lot easier to build. You have got easily enough plains area there to make a decent sized town for your base. That would be awesome. You've got the benefit of having sand to the left there, which is very useful for all your glass requirements. You can probably pillage some kind of temple in there. I imagine there must be one in there. You've got a swamp here to the right. So if you needed some slime, you could obviously come to the swamp. And there is some quite nice open spaces in the swamp. You've got the mountains there, so the mining is going to be fab. Swampland is quite okay. There's a decent side right in the middle. You'd have to go right to the centre of this swamp to get the benefit of the slime farm opportunity. But right here, underneath me here, that is perfect. That would be a great place to set up a little iron golem podium for your slime. Your acacia wood is right in front of you with your savanna. Oh look, you've got a little bit more sliming opportunities over there. This is a good area. I like this one very much. In fact, so far, I think this is the one I prefer the most. Just a wee bit further south, and we've got a desert village just there as the village, as the desert, yields into this kind of small dark oak area backed onto a plains. And then you've got another pillager tower just coming into view across the top there. And you've got, quite unusually, you've got a village here that is kind of in the plains because the plain has engulfed it, and yet it's considered to be a desert village. And it's a big desert village as well. Look at this. This is quite good. Decent sized desert village sat in the plains. How unusual is that? Very strange indeed, but nice nevertheless. And the pillager tower right behind it there, probably, I imagine, looking out at the village, wondering what they're going to have for tea. So, and at the back of that, we've got more desert. There's quite a lot of desert on this biome. I like deserts. Deserts are quite useful. Plenty of stuff to pillage. Plenty of stuff for glass. Lots of digging. So we've done north. We've done east. We've done south. We are now going west. And right across west, we've got, well, that's quite an interesting round hole in that beach there. But we've got a big birch forest, plenty of birchwood. And I've seen recently some quite interesting things you can do with birchwood. It's quite nice. And I think I'm probably going to be using it more. So birch forests are good. We've got a plains biome coming over the top here with some dark oak. So the only thing that we've not found so far is jungle for jungle wood. We've got pretty much everything else, I think, in the wood department. That's yielding it. We've got another swamp over here. So that's another swamp biome. We've got good biome diversity. A small plains here, relatively small, although it does reach up and around that hill over there. And that does carry on for a little bit longer. So you've probably got quite a nice opportunity to build something interesting there if you're a building sort. And then plenty of mountainous regions, lots of opportunity to do mining or maybe a castle on a hill. You've got some great cave formations in that one there. So this is altogether quite a nice little biome area. Coming a little bit further west, going between two shipwrecks, one there and one there. We've not gone that many blocks further, but we have found ourselves a little mushroom island, and I think it probably is an island, although it is attached to a non-mushroom biome just there. But very nice. Everything you need here, definitely. You've got mushrooms to come and get your mushroom soup, everything you could possibly want. Very close by to the spawn there in the westerly direction. So we've got the mushroom biome. That's a really rare biome and it's not far away. This is a nice seed. What goes past the mushroom biome is more and more islands. Have you noticed there is a theme? This is a very wet seed, but we do have more coral because obviously we've not had any of that yet. And just a little bit further out west, we have got so many shipwrecks. A pillager tower right there in a very interesting area because actually if you built out that platform that it sat on, that would actually be quite simple to make a pillager farm out of. But anyway, we've got another, look, it's two pillager towers. There's one just over there as well. That's insane. They're so close together. That's mental. We've got shipwreck. We've got shipwreck there. We've got loads. I mean, this seed has got plenty for you to come and explore. So I did a quick /locate for the 4 main structures that we didn't actually find whilst we were meandering around, although we did find a monument, but I'm sure there was one closer. Jungle Pyramid is about 4,500 blocks away. That doesn't mean the nearest jungle is 4,500 blocks, but the nearest Jungle Pyramid is, so it's possible it could be a bit of a trot to find your jungle. The nearest stronghold, however, less than 1,500 blocks away, so not that far at all. Nearest monument, way closer than the one we found. It's only 650 blocks away. Properly close. So, I mean, literally just across the horizon. And then the nearest mansion is nearly 12,000 blocks, which actually, in the grand scheme of things, isn't awful, especially if you're using nether transport to be able to get there. But actually, it's still about 12,000 blocks away. So it's a bit of a walk if you're going in the overworld. We are back around our pillar and we're going to go under the ground. Now, sometimes when you've got water everywhere, it changes what goes on under the ground. So I'm quite interested to see what's going to happen here. So we're going to do spoilers. So be careful in 3, 2, 1. And I've kind of timed it right. Boom, spoilers. We're under the ground and you can see we're absolutely surrounded by water. What have we got directly under this spawn area? Now, unsurprisingly, we've got a mine shaft. I'm not surprised because everything else on this thing has been quite good. But we've got a mine shaft and we have got such good ravinage as well. We've got a spawner right there. Look, what spawn is this? Let's just have a quick goosey. So we've got, that's a zombie spawner right there. We've got a massive ravine right there. We've got another massive ravine right there. We've got more massive ravines there. This is brilliant. We've got what looks like quite a large mine shaft in this direction. So let's come below this. So this is a second mine shaft, right close to spawn really, right underneath that shipwreck that you can see just above us. So if you find the shipwreck, dig straight down and you'll get this mine shaft. This mine shaft is quite long. It looks like I'm underneath it as opposed to over the top of it, which is as a result of being by the water. It's just a lot easier that way. And we've got a cave spider spawner there. We've got another cave spider spawner there, which is superb. That's a double spawner. Absolute, look at it. It's about 5 blocks apart. It's tiny. Right, and we've got more going on in this direction. More ravines. Look, more ravines, more ravines, more ravines. Lots of stuff that we can go at, basically. It's so full of caves. This area is not going to be good for mining around because you're just going to find that you end up in a cave. It just goes on and on, more ravines. Like, you can just follow the ravines and end up going for miles and miles and miles. We've got another mine shaft that I've just happened to have tripped over because I was nattering on whilst moving forwards. And we found another big old mine shaft, which is brilliant. It is a big one. I wasn't expecting to trip over it just yet. There's another spider spawner there. There's another spider spawner there. If you want spider spawners, this is your mate. Look, there's another spider spawner there. There's 3. There's 4 spider spawners. Superb. Back at the spawn area, you can see the Mesa, and we're going to go interdimensional by popping ourselves through this portal and seeing what's on the other side. And we have come out... Oh, this isn't so hot, this one. I'm less enthusiastic about this particular one, so if I just pop myself... This hadn't spawned out in a great place. We're literally inside a cave. So it's going to be very difficult for you to find your way out of here, I suspect. But, you know, perseverance. Grab yourself some netherrack. Grab yourself a number of picks because it doesn't half clock up the picks when you dig through netherrack. But the one advantage, of course, is the fact it is going to be pretty ghast safe. I do want to know where the nearest fortress is. And the nearest Nether Fortress was about 400 blocks away from when we come into the Nether by the Nether standards. So that's quite a long way away, really, but it's worth it. Look at this fella. It is right over the red stuff, which in Java is brilliant. In Bedrock, not so good, to be honest, I've learned, because all the mobs don't despawn. So when they're sat under the lava, they're just sat having a lovely time and will stay there and don't despawn when you move out of the area. In Java, however, this is cracking because they're not going to be there, because they're not going to spawn in there and they're not going to go in there unless they fall over. But what I'm looking for is netherwort. Netherwort, netherwort. Wherefore art thou, netherwort? I'm sure I can find some. This was probably the biggest fortress I've ever seen. It is enormous. It's like 3 fortresses all spawned in on top of each other. They're massive, but it does have a netherwort. You've properly got to search around for it. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a right old hike, and we are underneath. Got anything interesting? And you could have just got it out of that chest, obviously, but we are underneath and it's actually quite tricky to find. So I'm just going to see if I can give you a bit of a bearing by coming out of this entrance here, which is where I came. And you can see we're right out on the other side. Right out on the other side. This is how far out it is, and you can see that's where the fortress was that we were. I had to come all the way round here and come in this little sneaky peek entrance here and find the netherwort. But there's your clue. This one was actually a really interesting seed. Pretty much everything you could ever want isn't too far away, although you do spawn in on a very, very tiny island, and you might not want to build here, but you've got superb plains that you can be building in with all those resources you could possibly want, really, really close by. Everything you need, villages, ocean monuments, pillager towers, all that kind of jazz, really close. The Nether isn't too bad. It's a little bit of a walk to get to the nearest fortress, but oh my goodness, when you get there, it is definitely worth it. And you've got mine shafts for days underneath your feet. And I've not even mentioned all that coral. So I'm going to say thank you very much to Martin Fletcher. Marty, thank you very much for bringing this in. I've noticed I've called it episode 26, not episode 25, and I shall be making that a little better. But episode 25, Martin Fletcher, thanks for giving this one. It is a real cracker. I like it very much. Hugely moist, as you can see. Mesa just over there. Brilliant. I'm having to float to stand by Martin here. Look, that's not good. Because if I jump, I just go up, so I can't. I'm just going to have to wave at you. Really like it. If you've got a really great seed, whether it is for Java or Bedrock, I don't care anymore. Send it in to avomanceminecraft@gmail.com. That is avomanceminecraft@gmail.com. And let me know why it is so good. Give me some information about it, maybe some coordinates, all that kind of jazz. And maybe you could be in one of these episodes in the future. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying it, and I will keep on making it. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.